So before we hop into this video, I'd just like to quickly say I'm doing this one purely for fun. More of my hiking and environmental videos will be on their way soon. If you enjoy this video, make sure to slap that like button and consider subscribing, as it really helps out the YouTube algorithm to push my videos to more people who may enjoy them too. If you are new here, make sure to check out some of my other videos as they're very different to this one, but if they don't interest you, at least you'll have this one to enjoy. Now, let's hop into it. So, how good are the vehicle levels in LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga? Well, unlike other Karen YouTubers out there, I think the vehicle levels in this game are pretty freaking good. So we're going to take some time to quickly relive and touch upon how these levels are so fantastically fantastic. So let's start with the one and only Mos Espa Podrace. For a vehicle level that is so simple and pure, Mos Espa Podrace is one of the best in the game. Now honestly, I have very few bad things to say about this level. Its 3 laps differentiate after every completed circuit, adding Tusken Raiders, falling boulders and a new lane in the final lap. Some may argue this creates too much tension in the level. Well, the developers clearly considered that and included some of the most satisfying sounds in the game, such as and to ease that tension. Now, this level's predecessor definitely wasn't as good, but I won't touch upon that any more than I already have. Bounty Hunter Pursuit is definitely one of the worst levels in the game, but despite that being said, I wouldn't personally call it bad. Yes, it has an incredibly easy boss fight, but it's still fun to play, and that's enough to give it some love. This level was only added in the Complete Saga and was not in the LEGO Star Wars video game, so I'm glad we got it. It fulfills the episode 2 storyline even more, so I can't complain. Gunship Cavalry was a huge improvement from its predecessor, which actually separated this one level into 2. It is such a good representation of the Battle of Geonosis, with separatist forces making things difficult for you like always. After destroying the 2 electric field gates, you then spend the last section of the mission destroying a Federation starship, which is satisfying as hell. Battle over Coruscant is one of my favourite levels in the game. It's the only level that kept the same mechanics from the previous game. It flows well, and as far as I know, it's the only level where you can collect all 10 mini-kits in story mode. This sets you up nicely for the mini-kit bonus levels ahead. It's an absolute haven for studs. Me and my brother used to play this repeatedly to save up for the stud multipliers, and we'd never get bored. I'm just going to add that in free play, with the toggle extra turned on, you can play as a buzz droid. It's pretty pointless, but I like it. Moving on to the original trilogy, Rebel Attack was where things changed for vehicle levels. With LEGO Star Wars 2, the mechanics were reinvented, and these mechanics were then used to remaster all vehicle levels in the prequel trilogy of the Complete Saga. Rebel Attack is a fantastic level. You need to acquire torpedoes to destroy the barrier's shields, which you can then shoot to progress to the next area. If you are playing co-op, player 1 will be an X-Wing, which holds 3 torpedoes maximum, and player 2 will be a Y-Wing, which can hold 5 as it's a bomber fighter. Either way, both will be unlocked at the end of the level. There are 3 areas in total, and each gets harder by adding Death Star cannons and hangars in which Imperial fighters are deployed. These can be destroyed pretty easily, so it doesn't make for too much of a problem. In the final part of the level, you make the trench run with Vader right on your tail. Then you must destroy the Death Star by shooting a torpedo into the thermal exhaust port. Thanks for making this possible, Galen Erso. Hoth Battle is a weird level for me. When I first played it in LEGO Star Wars 2 when I was 7, I hated it. It was too hard and confusing, but in more recent years I've come to really enjoy it. Except for in story mode with no extras, those Imperial probe droids are really freaking annoying when you need to get a bomb to those walls. Anyway, moving on before I have a mental breakdown. During the level you get to destroy a couple of AT-ATs. At the end of the level you have hordes of Imperial forces to take out. This starts off pretty easy with probe droids, but by the final stage you need to destroy an AT-AT, 6 AT-STs and 4 probe droids. My plan of attack here was tangle up the AT-AT whilst holding the shoot button, which would clear most of the walkers and probe droids. So in conclusion, if you're older than 7, it's a fun level. If not, ask your older brother to do it. Falcon Flight is another great and simple level. It starts off intense, having to destroy 16 turrets and 4 Imperial Star Destroyers, with a lot of TIEs shooting at you. After this you proceed to flee into an asteroid field which has an abundance of aesthetically pleasing explosions. When shot, some asteroids will drop torpedoes which are used to break walls to progress to other areas. The iconic Exogorth is also in this level, the giant worm, and it's made even more iconic by being a living double score zone. Lovely. Once escaped from its innards, you proceed to the final area in which you destroy a fat boy asteroid to end the level. Now, initially I weren't sure whether to include this in the video, as Speeder Showdown isn't technically a vehicle level, but I'd forever live with a guilty conscience if I didn't include it, so here it is. Most of the level is ground based, but if it wasn't for the vehicle mechanics on the speeders, it'd be nowhere near as good. It feels pretty intense having to dodge all the trees, going so fast and trying to shoot scout troopers in the process, but even though it's so simple, it has a hell of a lot going for it. Now time for the final vehicle level in the saga. Into the Death Star goes out with a bang. First off, you must destroy multiple Imperial Star Destroyers that are protecting the Death Star. You then progress to the interior of the Death Star, destroying cannons, shields and missile launchers that protect the main reactor. Once inside, you need to destroy many of the reactor's shield generators, just don't get too close as they will sizzle your ship. Once achieved and recovering from electrocution related injuries, you need to then destroy the main reactor. As it explodes, you must escape the Death Star with the explosion emerging closely behind you. This is the most fun part of the level in my opinion. Very satisfying indeed. I'm sure it goes without being said, but all these levels are made even more fun with free play, where you can replay any level as your favourite ship. You can even access forbidden areas in story mode by playing as Imperial ships in free play. If you did enjoy the original versions of Mos Espa Podrace and Gunship Cavalry, don't worry, there's no need to set up your PlayStation 2. Both of these levels are in the bonus room and are unlocked by collecting enough gold bricks. In addition to these, there's also Anakin's Flight, a level cut from the main story of the game. This level is based on the scene in episode 1 where Anakin destroys a Federation ship. I quite like this level, but of course it has no minikits or red bricks, so it's definitely missing that. Maybe we'll see an improvement of this in the Skywalker saga. We also have a bunch of minikit bonus levels taking place on Tatooine, Coruscant, Kashyyyk, the Death Star, Hoth, and Endor. These have such a huge selection of ships that are gained through collecting all 10 minikits in the main levels. With extra toggle you can even play as the Rancor and the Wampa. These are incredibly fun bonus levels and the only goal is to collect 1,000,000 studs in your quickest time possible. As it's vehicle related, completing all 20 bounty hunter missions for Jabba the Hutt will unlock you the Notorious Slave 1. Also, in the outside area of the Mos Eisley hub, you will find 2 of Yoda's Honda Civics. Just don't let him catch you because we all know what he's like when he's under the influence. Anyway, that wraps up this video. If you have enjoyed, slap that like button and leave a comment telling me your favourite vehicle level in this game. Also, do you think the Skywalker saga will be better than the complete saga? I personally think it would be great, but not as good as the complete saga is kind of like an unbeatable classic.